I think her appetite's picked up since
Okay.
the last time you saw her.
Okay.
She gained weight.
Yeah, she gained weight.
That's good. And, you know, she's doing her normal routine, fairly active, moving around okay, not falling off the perch and stuff like that.
I think she's fallen twice because she just decided to be stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she gets out of bed and she walks around the house and she's normal.
I've noticed that grew
Yeah,
in there.
There's a lot of material in there right now. Is it not affecting how she's eating?
No.
No.
How you doing, kid? So, the tail. Did she, any trauma? You know, did
No.
she bang it?
It just kind of started.
Started out of nowhere.
Yeah, and then it's been like that for, I want to say, like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And it's just been progressing fast, I think.
Like after it started, then it just kept going. It was originally like hanging off, so it was kind of, yeah, the skin was starting to hang off, so I peeled back a little bit just to see how much was really gone, and I got that little chunk off, and it's like halfway gone. Like the diameter is really small.
The problem, I mean, the thing I'm worried about is the temperature of her tail. This is all dead. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just gone. No blood supply, no nerve supply, nothing. You could break that in half. She wouldn't even feel it. So where is the delineation between good, healthy, viable tissue and tissue that's already diseased? And the temperature is really pretty cool, you know, even up to here.
Would that be because, like,
She's been in the car.
The
She
car.
hasn't been.
Well, except when I feel here, okay, feel the temperature of her legs,
Yeah.
and then feel the temperature of the tail. And of course, the extremities are going to be a little more cooler because her blood vessels to the extremities are going to be constricted. But what I'm saying is, if we just say amputate the tail there, there's no guarantee that this indeed is not going to start to get the same disease process. So when we see, you know, a dead tail like this, there's a couple things we know for sure that does it. One is plain old strict trauma. Bam, okay? And what this animal does is it vasoconstricts all its blood vessels, which means shuts them down. And if you don't have blood supply, you're not going to have healthy tissue, okay? So that's one thing that can do it. Another thing that can do it is an incomplete shed. If she's not been shedding her skin normally, and some of the shed tissue remains there, you know how it can act like almost like a rubber band, a constrictive band around
I think
it.
that might have been at the bottom of the tail, because usually I get like, I'm usually the one who always, you know, picks at her or whatever, but I noticed that I stopped at like the tip of her tail. I noticed that like months and months ago that this one never fell off. And I didn't bother to touch it or annoy her. I'm trying to stop to annoy her and all that stuff.
Right.
But I did notice that there, and a few spikes used to be like that too. That's probably why those have fallen off too.
Yeah. So, and once, you know, you lose blood supply, what can happen is then the tissue, let's say it started here, right? This tissue dies. As this tissue is dying, the bacteria, which is everywhere, can kind of just get in there and then start to ascend up. And that's my worry, that we're going to end up, you see almost that greenish tinge there?
Yeah.
That's like almost like a gangrene type thing happening. So that's going to die just like the rest of the tail. And the you know, the million-dollar question is, even though you get to right here and there's a delineation between what looks to be dead tissue and still tissue that's alive, if we just amputate there, I'm worried that we're going to...
Still going to spread?
Yeah. So...
Where does like the healthiness stop, like completely?
Great question.
You don't know?
Great question. I don't know. If I'm just going on, I'd have to go on a radiograph probably, and some of this skin we have to peel off. You know...
Can she feel that right there?
Yeah. Yeah. Which is a good thing, and that blood is a good thing too, because remember, blood is carrying, you know, but see, this is the other thing. Why didn't she shed this? Okay, and I think that's the problem. She's not shedding this. There's a little odor there, so this is infected material. You know, it's infected, and that's going to definitely extend up. So, when did it all start?
A couple weeks ago.
It had to
I
be like
started noticing
2 months ago or to a couple weeks.
Relax.
Yeah, this is bad.
And didn't you already call about it though?
Mm-mm.
Or is that something different?
Different.
Okay, so what we need to do, just sticking her on antibiotics is not enough. Okay, that tail has to be amputated.
All of it?
No, not all of it. I'm guessing right now, but I'm going to have to X-ray her tail and then, make a decision. But I'm guessing that we're probably going to have to amputate approximately here.
Do you have to put her under for that?
Probably not. I
Okay.
can do a local,
Because she's 16, so I'm kind of worried
She's just
about
worried that she's not going to come back at it.
Well, the last conversation I had with you guys and your mom, it was like, boy, she's an awesome iguana. She's done great despite her medical problems, but she's got some chronic old age issues. She's getting real arthritic. Her spine is starting to fuse. She doesn't have a lot of mobility anymore. Last time we checked her blood, the kidneys were hanging in there, which were good. But, a 16-year-old captive green iguana is like a 90-year-old person. And, that's a really, it's an honor to her and also to you guys how well you've cared for her. She's really cool. But we're going to reach a point where, how much do we want to put her through? Amputating her tail with a local to try to save her life, because if that infection gets in the bloodstream, okay, and she gets septic, that's it, right? So we want to amputate her tail, not for cosmetic reasons. We want to amputate her tail to prevent this getting worse and essentially trying to save her life. And that's not, when you say amputation, you're always like, oh man, that's horrible. But if we're going to lose part of the body, losing part of the tail is okay, And I know I can do it under local, which we can do. So it's just, and I'm gonna err on the side of being conservative, meaning I'm gonna take probably more healthy tissue than dead tissue, because we don't want to keep doing this again and again and again. But
so you're gonna go up a little bit farther than you should. Just
I want to take an X-ray, okay?
Just to be positive that's
because we want to see, you can see changes in the bone, and based on what we do is we take a needle, stick it in, and then take an X-ray. So the needle is our marker, and if we see this bone looks all healthy and this bone down here looks rotten, then we can make a decision to go, in between it. And so based on the X-ray, and I'm also going to be peeling more of this skin up, and I don't like that. That's really advanced bacterial infection in there, and the more we peel this, we're going to have to try to get to healthy tissue. And I think that the thing about her not shedding is the answer, because all of this should have shed, and it didn't. And I think by it not shedding, it's then getting infected. It's almost like you have a Band-Aid on top of infection.
Like losing your circulation.
You're losing your circulation. The shed is keeping the infection in. So we have to kind of go up as high as we can and peel as much off as we can, and then make a decision. But I think it's going to be somewhere in this region. So we'll have to do it tonight. I'm not in, actually, my schedule now is I'm only working Monday to Wednesday, so I don't want this to wait till next Monday. So I can do it tonight. You can pick her up either after I do it or tomorrow. Do we need to check with your mom?
Nope.
No.
She's on the phone right now.
Oh.
Hey, Mom.
She is?
Well, yep, she's on the phone.
So,
Hey.
Did you hear us okay?
Yeah, I heard most of it, yeah.
Okay. Are you on board with this, or?
Well, but if you just think, do you think she's strong enough for any kind of a tail amputation?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's surgically speaking,
You're
it's not
famous.
that big a deal. And honestly, we have no other choice, because if we don't do this, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. So, Yeah, I think she's strong enough.
How do you care for something like that when
Like afterwards.
Yeah, you won't.
Sure she doesn't get a bigger infection by having it.
Well, that's a great question. You really don't have to do much of anything. She's going to be, I don't even think I'll put her on antibiotics, honestly. It's just we're going to have to hope that where we amputate there's still viable tissue, and that's going to solve her problem. There's going to be very little care you have to do.
So you're gonna be like an ointment or something? Or like
No.
a Band-Aid?
Nothing.
What about the water? Because I know you couldn't have water touch her stitches. Do you think that she shouldn't have water touching the end of it?
Well, it's not optimal, but it's you know, if she gets it wet, it's not that bad.
Mm.
Sometimes we don't even
Anything
put
would be better
sutures in,
than
you know, sometimes we just leave it at, you know how they have their ability to
Yeah.
regenerate tail, and depending where we amputate, and it sounds kind of gross, but we don't want to amputate between the tailbones. You want to amputate through the tailbone, and that will allow, or at
Connect
least
their
give her
bone?
the opportunity to regenerate, okay? So whether it regenerates or not, we don't care. We just want to stop this infection from ending up getting more extensive and, you know, getting to the body.
So you're gonna like cut through the bone, and there's a possibility she could grow back, or a little stub or something.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah, at 16 she's probably not going to regenerate quick. Who cares?
Maybe a
So,
little nub.
okay, so I will probably be, I have appointments all the way up to 5 o'clock, even a little later, so I won't even be doing this till after 5. I'll call you after it's done, and if I think she can go home tonight, which she probably should be able to.
Wait, are you doing the X-ray tonight, or
I'm doing
X-ray
everything.
and
Everything.
Oh, okay.
We're going to x-ray her. Based on the
Because she's
x-ray,
on-
we're going to do the surgery, and I'm going to call you and tell you how it went, and hopefully tell you to come back and pick her up tonight. If she can't go home tonight, she'll go home tomorrow.
Okay.